Day is less than 3 weeks away, and just a little while ago, Pennsylvania Secretary of State reminded everyone of important dates, especially if you want to vote but haven't registered yet. Dennis Owens, live at the state capitol with that story. Good afternoon to you, Dennis.
Good afternoon to you, James. The Secretary of State says the election is fast approaching, counties are ready, and you can trust the process. And when you're trying to learn about election results, go to trusted sources, he said. Schmidt, as you said, met the media today, reminding of deadlines to register to vote. If you haven't registered, you have until this Monday, the 23rd. The deadline to request a mail-in ballot is the following week, October 31st, just Halloween. Ghouls and goblins have haunted some counties' mail-in ballot efforts this year. In Lancaster, they said return those ballots in the white secrecy envelope. Problem is, they sent out yellow secrecy envelopes. In Cumberland County, the ballots were actually a little too heavy, would require 2 stamps, which was not noted in the material. Schmidt says there's been a lot of turnover at election offices across the Commonwealth. There is a bit of a lack of institutional knowledge, but he did say this about the process.
Whenever that happens, it makes it more likely that errors like the ones you describe will occur. It's important for us to keep in mind that they are not deliberate, they are not intentional, they are not seeking to change the outcome of an election. Any of these errors that I hear about as a former county election administrator, really, it's upsetting because I know what it must be like, and they are committed to having their voters' votes counted.
James, I have 3 dates for you. October 23rd, it's Monday. That's the deadline to register to vote. October 31st, Halloween. That's the deadline to request a mail-in ballot. And by the way, if you wait until then, you're going to want to return it in person because there's not enough time for you to get it and then you to mail it back. So if you do that, you're going to want to take it in person. Then November 7th, James, that is Election Day here in Pennsylvania. That's the story from the state capitol. Let's send it back to you.
and Dennis, I mean, just listening to him speaking, saying that was upsetting to him, seeing some of these mail-in ballot problems, but it doesn't seem like this is a statewide issue.
Well, and one of the questions in the story I'm working on for later, because some people might be wondering, wait a minute, why doesn't the state just take over these mail-in ballots instead of having 67 counties all doing their own printer, doing their own thing when it comes to mail-in ballots? Maybe there should be uniformity. He noted that the state does get involved in helping them when it's federal races and in the statewide races as far as the language and making sure they got the names right and all that. But the problem is in every county, the names change in every single election in all the municipalities. It would be a bit unwieldy. The state's role is to guide them and support them. But the fact of the matter is, James, we don't have statewide elections. We have county by county elections. Thanks for letting me give you that little civics lesson.
Great point, and I knew you were just the man to teach it to us. Thank you very much, Dennis Owens, live there at the state capitol in Harrisburg.